Over the years, I've encountered backpackers walking the length of Great Britain and always been inspired. I've decided now's the right time for me to have a go at this myself. This is my video log. Hope you enjoy. Woke up at 6:30, that's good. It's 10 to 7 now. Obviously I haven't had coffee or breakfast yet, but I'll do that once I find some water I can boil. I want to save my fresh clean tap water for drinking. And that's me back on the Pennine Way. I had read that when you wild camp in England, as long as you get up early, the only people that are likely to see are dog walkers. Sure enough, I heard a dog barking just after I'd woken up. So I could have cut a corner off from the campsite there, but I've decided to stay true to the Pennine Way. I do remember enjoying this next section. In fact, all the way down to Edale is quite nice. So, in fact, the only bit of the Pennine Way I've kind of missed is, since joining it from Burness, was Pennygent. Well, the water looks a bit peaty, but I don't think I'll mind too much if my porridge tastes like Talisker or my coffee. Even after just cleaning my teeth, I feel halfway to being a human being again. It does seem a bit daft, this bit, but I think it's worth it. You kind of drop down and then just climb back up, almost doubling back on yourself. But I'm in no hurry. I've got accommodation booked in Congleton on Sunday and Buxton on Monday, and it's currently Friday, so I need to slow down a bit. Yeah, having accommodation booked is really good for me. Slows me down, forces me to relax and not cut corners. So it's a mostly gentle climb up from Crowden Reservoir to the road at the top where that mast is. See cars and vans going along it. Certainly glad I stopped where I did anyway. Not many options, if any, for camping. Eventually going to be heading over there. Oh, it's not that style, it's the Kirklees way, it's a bit further on. Okay, so time to go up round the side of Black Hill. Going by that road just reminds me how peaceful it was last night by the reservoir. It's really quiet. I mean, the loudest noise was curlews. During this year's winter spine race, back in January, that little beck was flowing so fast they had to use the diversion for the race. Another coffee stop, just slowing it down, and I think it's 1 o'clock to check in at Crowden. It's only about 11:15, so I've asked a few people if it's Crowden or Crowden. No one seems to know. Even the guy from Oldham. So that's me been walking for nearly 6 weeks. I'm just thinking, like, my legs, my feet feel much the same as they did after the first day, you know, as in a bit achy, almost like if you imagine you've just gone out for a long walk with nothing before, then the next day your legs kind of tell you about it. Well, that's how I've felt since the start, every day, but they're fine, you know. It's just funny, but reassuring as well. So I guess what I'm also saying is walking remains a pleasure, you know, pain-free. There's the stiffness in the morning which goes away pretty quick, and then fatigue if I'm doing a longer day, which I won't be today. The only times I'm having any sort of discomfort is when I'm camping, actually, and that's been since the second day as well. Like, my right leg is, you know, the usual problematic right leg with the knee and the hip, they both ache. I think it's my ITB actually, but it, you know, can keep me awake. I'm alright if I'm in a soft hotel bed. Yeah, clearly softening and getting old, aren't I? The shop at the campsite isn't stocked at all for unfortunate reasons. Anyway, I had a short day today, so I'm up for a jog. Yeah, that couscous I had last night was my last food, my emergency food, so I need to restock. So this is a Trans-Pennine bike path, I believe. So yeah, I just had a couple of pints of that really nice IPA, and also got chatting to this guy who was very similar age to my dad. Had a heart attack without knowing about it, same as my dad, and I'd given up smoking, same as my dad, and only just started again very recently, same as my dad. In fact, it was at his grandson's wedding. So there you go. Weird. He was from Peebles originally. So that's my first run for over 6 weeks. Kept it very gentle. I enjoyed it. As long as my groceries aren't bashed, it was worth it. The shopping survived. I'm wolfing this down. So just leaving Crowden campsite. Usual story with campsites, absolutely lovely staff, and 95% of the folk there are fantastic, and then 5% who happen to be next to me. Anyway, that wasn't the worst of it. If you ever camp at Crowden, don't let them put you under the trees. I mean, to be fair, the trip's been going so well so far. It's probably about time I got shat on. So half an hour this morning was spent washing the tent. Anyway, a couple of big milestones today. Firstly, this is my last day on the Pennine Way. So get down to Edale hopefully. And secondly, I'll have completed 6 weeks on the trail. Yeah, probably the toughest, certainly the longest steep section of the Pennine Way coming south, I would say. This is. So we're now in the dark peak part of the Peak District. And this is basically one large plateau. The first lump on it that we go to is Bleaklow, and then at the further end is Kinder Scout. Yeah, it's not a particularly inspiring section. I remember feeling that way about it last time too. Although I think I was looking forward to climbing up that bit more than I am this time. Turns out I was ready for a climb. Final couple of miles on the Pennine Way. Definitely got a pint march on. I also need to find somewhere to stay tonight. Still to go up and over that to get to Edale before my pint day. Last wee bit. It's 20 to 2 and I'm scared they're going to stop serving food. So my chosen campsite by the visitor centre was full. That's got a nice backpacking site, and they recommended I tried the Newfold Farm back up by the old Nag's Head Inn, and they were absolutely mobbed, but they let me in, warned me it might not be what I was looking for. I think there were more kids than adults there, but they were all having fun, and like the dads were joining in. Once the dads and the kids were all knackered, it went very quiet, so it was absolutely fine. Peaceful by 11. I was also chatting to someone else that's on their way to Land's End. A lass walking with her dog started at John O'Groats. The dog's totally mellow. It's a rescue. She says it's been absolutely fine. And she's on her way to Offa's Dyke, but she's doing it proper, like from the start. I'm cutting the corner. I'm giving myself a rest. A very short day today over to Castleton, and just start making my way more westwards from there towards Offa's Dyke. The lass with her dog had also stayed in Crowden the night before last, and her tent also got dumped with guano, though she says not so bad, not as bad, so she must have seen mine. This is like an experiment to see how long I can sit still for, because it's just after 9, I can't check in till 2 and the place opens at 12. I'll have to see what happens with this weather forecast with the thunderstorms, because I did have in mind to run back over and meet up with Ken, who I've been walking and meeting up with on the Pennine Way. And that gap there is where we're planning heading up tomorrow. Quite a dramatic start to the White Peak District, the limestone part. That's what surprised me about the Peak District last time I was here. It's like civilization is up above and all the wild dramatic stuff, I suppose, is down in dales below. There's 470 metres up here. So this is Edale. See the bench back there, Pat's bench, with the message, "Shall we have a minute?" on it. I think that's quite poignant, you know. It's obviously a walk that Pat used to enjoy and a phrase that Pat used to say. I remember last time I obliged and sat down and had a slab of Malteser cake. These are the moments you remember the most. Right, now entering Monksdale. It would be a bit easier without the pack, right enough. It's mostly alright. Well, it was hard work, but I think it was worth it. Hope you agree. You see the railway line there, well, the old railway line, ex-railway line. It's This is Millersdale down here. Hoping that pub's still open. It's looking promising. The Angler's Rest. So that was good. Lunch at the Angler's Rest. And chatting to a couple of other walkers. One of which had spotted my big bag and says, "You must be doing something big." Yeah, he'd done the end-to-end as well in the past. And it's funny comparing our route choices and stuff. Like how I was avoiding stuff I'd done a lot of before in Scotland. Make my own way, that's what he did with England. Like I've said before, it's like every day has its own personality on this journey. What a fucking mess. Footpath through Deepdale closed until 2026. Honestly, this was lovely in 2016. That was a bit of a dodgy path. Clearly not much foot traffic on this anymore. I'm able to progress along it and gonna pick up the Midshires Trail. Every day has its own personality. So a little over a mile from Buxton now, and got to find my pub for the night. Good morning, it's 7:45 and leaving Buxton up via Grinlow hopefully. Footpath to Barbage, Grinlow caravan site, that'll do. Quite a temperature difference just between down in Buxton and up here in the breeze. Keep changing what I'm wearing. We're heading up here, I believe. It's Axe Edge Moor. Well, that was a bit of that hill was a bit early for me, I think. Quite a long day today, at least 20 miles to Congleton. I'm mostly following the Dane Valley Way, which I've noticed as way markers for DVW. So hopefully leaving the A roads behind now. You never actually have to walk in them, at least there's paths by the side. So I'm actually about 520 metres up at the moment. Buxton itself is about 300. The highest point I'm going to be at for quite a few days as I drop down to Cheshire and cross over towards the Welsh border. And this here is pretty much the source of the River Dane, according to the map. Riverside Cafe open 10 till 4. So for once I might actually be passing something that's open. Right, I've built up my hopes for coffee and cake, so this better be open. Nice. Lovely spot. Sold. It's just a shame to see that place so quiet. I'm definitely keen to give those sort of places some custom. It's a scout camp you can hear. Dane Bridge down the way. I think they're building bridges across the river. What another lovely day's walk this has been so far. I'm only about halfway as well. Just so much variety. A brewery. Compromise, I'll have half. Like I say, I do like to give these places custom. Honestly, I did not know about that brewery when I planned this route. I went for the weakest one they had, which was an English IPA called Hen Cloud, named after the peak at the bottom of the Roaches. I'm feeling it actually, just that half pint. Just that little floatiness. This is a bit shit. It's walking along like a boxer. Good old English rights away. And this is a long distance trail as well, so forgive me for using roads a bit more often from here on. Finally escaped the bracken, nettle, bramble, thistle jungle. Okay. Well, this track's called Gosbury Hole Lane, taking me down towards Congleton. This is all very civilised. The Gritstone Trail. So I picked up Brookhouse Lane and that took me onto the spike path.